Hello, Imelda.
Hello, MaryJane. Hello,
Nice.
MaryJane.
Great to see you.
And it's great to see you. This is fantastic, and it's great just to be able to hear from you everything that's been going on with you for the last whatever number of years. So it is.
Thank you.
So here we have EFT Practitioner, Matrix Reimprinting Practitioner, EFT Trainer, Supervisor, MaryJane Sharratt.
Thank you. That's about it. There's a few other things we could tag on, but we won't.
Absolutely, we can stick them in as well. So MaryJane, if we go back just to the beginning, and you worked in banking, your career was banking, corporate banking as well.
It was 15 years in corporate banking. It was an interesting time, stressful, busy, and difficult, but it brought me to where I've ended up, I think. So I have to be grateful to it for that.
Absolutely. And it was there that you went then into the world of homeopathy.
Yes. So I had a bit of a stressful time over a few years in the late 90s. Both my parents died in quite quick succession, both in their 60s as well, so young, really. And I also went through a divorce. So I think that's all the big life stresses I managed to achieve in a space of about 4 years or something. Plus I was working in a highly stressful environment, not really looking after myself so well. And in fact, it was after my mum died and I wasn't really doing very well, and I went to see a homeopath. I had no idea what a homeopath did. A friend said, go and see a homeopath. So I did. And she helped me immensely. It made a really profound difference, not just to my health, but to my sleep, to my stress levels, to my perspective on life, if you like, my outlook, realizing what was and wasn't important. So it was life-changing.
Yeah. And you had a health scare yourself in between all this as well.
I did. So about a year after that, I got a cancer diagnosis, and that was a massive wake-up call for me. And I needed it, if I'm honest. I still wasn't taking the best care of myself. And it made me really reappraise everything. I was already thinking about looking at different work, perhaps retraining. So in my time off, I had two surgeries. And in that time, when I was recuperating, I was just thinking about various things. And I thought, I'm going to explore studying homeopathy. When I went back to work, I talked to them about working part-time. And I spent 4 years working part-time plus studying homeopathy at the same time. And then in 2006, I left the bank with my homeopathy certificate. And it's a bit like when you learn to drive, you pass your test and then you really start learning.
Exactly.
It's definitely the case for me. And then I set up my practice and began working clients, and it's been an amazing time.
Absolutely. And so was it within the homeopathy world then that you came across EFT? How did that come about?
Yeah, it was. So I was doing, I can't remember exactly. I think I was just doing an evening course on maybe batch flowers with someone. And she was giving away a lot of books. And one of the books was by Roger Callahan, who he developed TFT, thought field therapy, and it's the precursor to EFT. So I just picked up this book and read it, and he used formulae. So you tapped on certain points for certain issues. So it was different depending on the issue. And my husband didn't like flying, and I quite like holidays. So I said, let's try this tapping thing for fear of flying. So we did. And we flew to Kefalonia, I remember it well. And he wasn't loving it, but he was okay. He was better than normal.
It was manageable for him.
It was. And to be honest, after that, I didn't give it much thought. the tapping until, I can't remember, it was perhaps 2012, 2013. A woman was bringing her very young baby to me for treatment, for homeopathic treatment. And she was a very, very stressed mum, for good reason. She'd had a lot of stuff, a lot of trauma. And she said to me, do you think I should go and see someone? And I said, I think that's a great plan. And so she did. She went for a couple of EFT sessions. And I can honestly say she brought her little boy back into my clinic. And he was like another woman. I've never seen such a transformation in anyone. And I said, what have you done? What did you do? Tell me about it. And she'd been to see an EFT practitioner for a couple of sessions. And that was enough to make me get online and start researching courses.
You knew then there was definitely something in it.
I really did. I think when I did the tapping with my husband for the flying, I thought it was, you know, a bit flaky, if I'm truly honest, a little bit peripheral, and not a proper serious therapy. But when I'd done the training, started using it with clients, I realized the immense, enormous, fabulous scope of this therapy.
Absolutely. And it's something that can be integrated, you know, within other modalities as well, EFT.
It really can. And that's exactly how I began, actually. So I was using homeopathy, allergy work, kinesiology with people, and I started to integrate EFT into that. So if a homeopathic client came and they were talking about a particular event that had occurred in their life, I'd say, let's do some tapping on that. And so we'd do some tapping. And I found I was getting better results. And people were getting well quicker and making really profound shifts in things. And the same with the allergy work as well, interestingly. So I started to integrate it more and more. And in fact, now it's moved almost the other way. So I mainly work with EFT, but sometimes I add in some homeopathic remedies. So it's just
because you can.
Because I can, and because I can see. Let's say you're working with someone who's talking about something that happened when they were 10 years old. And I can see that if I had that 10-year-old in front of me, I would give them X remedy. Then chances are they still need that remedy. So I will prescribe that remedy that they needed at 10. And honestly, the results are astounding.
Unbelievable. Amazing.
But lots of people as well, you talked about integrating with other therapies. I mean, lots of people in talking therapy, counsellors, hypnotherapists use it a lot. Also acupuncturists, shiatsu practitioners, quite a few body workers as well. So people who do reflexology, massage therapy. And it's really interesting. I've talked to people who have started using EFT and then giving a massage to a regular massage client. And I've asked if the massage has been different, and they've said yes. Much more profound. It's like the client can really shift things at a deeper level. And sometimes these are people they've been massaging for years.
Long time.
But they really can see the difference. And also, of course, people come to EFT who are not therapists, and that's fine. Lots of coaches actually really find it useful, because in coaching, of course, you're coming across the blocks, the limiting beliefs.
That's it. So where did training find its place then, becoming an EFT trainer?
Becoming a trainer. So I think I've always loved teaching. My first job out of university was a teacher. I taught English as a foreign language in Bangkok. That's a little known fact about me. There you are. So I've always been drawn to teaching. Excuse me. I've run homeopathy workshops over the years. I really enjoy it. People seem to benefit from my style of teaching. So I was quite drawn to teaching EFT, and particularly because I think when I realised how fabulous it was and how little known, and how there perhaps aren't enough practitioners out there. You know, the world needs more. The world needs more of anything that makes people
feel better, of course.
So that was my focus. Yeah. So I trained as a trainer in, I think it was 2016. I'm a bit hazy on the dates, but I'm pretty sure that was my initial training, and I've actually completed additional trainer training since
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what makes you different from other trainers?
What makes me different? I think there's a few things. So a lot of people just look at the training as a number of days of a course. For me, the training starts before that. So I speak to everybody who's interested in training. I have a chat, usually via Zoom, and just get to know people, get to know why they want to learn EFT, you know, what their background is. Obviously, there's a safety element as well to make sure it's going to be an appropriate setup for them, especially now that I do my training primarily online. So I need to just make sure that they're okay, and that's going to work for them. And then the relationship continues for as long as the trainee wants, really. I've got people that I trained right at the beginning who I'm still in touch with. So there's no end. And so I think it's a mix of that ongoing support for people. They know they don't get abandoned, waved off with a certificate after a few days of training.
And left to get on with it. So
exactly.
they have that ongoing support again. And this leads me on then to your role of supervisor.
Supervisor, yes. So I actually became an official supervisor in 2020 under the EFT and Mindfulness Centre Supervisors Programme. And I started to introduce regular supervision. So generally I run supervision monthly for anyone who's a practitioner, anyone who's completed their training, even if they're not practicing actually. Because often coming to supervision will really support people and help them get back into maybe working with EFT again. And the idea of supervision is that you can turn up without feeling stupid and ask anything you want. You can ask for help on cases. You can ask for a refresher on how a particular technique works. You can ask what to do with this particular client where you're a bit stuck. You know, you can just feel part of the group. And I think it's quite tough to be a practitioner. Always has been, and especially now more people work online. It can be quite isolating.
Exactly, and it's lone working. It's a lone working occupation anyway.
It is. It really is. You know, and just that sense that you've got colleagues and that you can turn up. And I think a big thing about my courses and my supervision is that I always keep the group small. Because I'm very much into community, people having an opportunity to speak if they want to. They don't have to. But yes, just keeping it a small group. So I never train more than 8 people, and the same in supervision. So anything you come to that I'm running is always going to be a smaller
group, which is a lot more beneficial, you know. So how can we get in touch with you then?
That's a great question. So I'll put a link to my website below this. But I really, whether someone wants to come for one-to-one treatment, whether they want to join a course, whether they want to join supervision, it's always great to have a chat with them. Not always, but it is nice to have that chat. So I'll put a link to my diary and you can book a 15-minute no obligation call. So that's a great place to begin. And there's an application form for training on my website, and there's an email address, and people can get in touch by whichever of the current means, the many means of communication people like. I've got a Facebook page, which is Train in EFT. And the website is EFT-practioner.com. And yeah, I think that's it.
Perfect. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you so much, Imelda. It's been lovely to
welcome.
chat to you today.
And you. Thank you, MaryJane.
Thank you.